throws, pass caught, Williams, touchdown! Hello there. General Kenobi.
All my exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait.
His quarterback, Tom Brady. Avengers! Assemble.
Hello everyone, and thank you for checking out today's video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on any of the fun. So as you all know, the coronavirus has absolutely shut everything down, especially sports. You know, they postponed the NBA season and they've canceled March Madness, and there's basically no sports on right now. I mean, the sports channels are having to resort to rerunning and re-airing old games just so that people have something to watch. So because of that, you know, obviously me and a lot of other people really miss sports. So I was thinking back and reflecting on and just thinking about sports, and I thought, well, what if I did a video on my top 10 favorite sports moments of my life? So that's what today's video is, and let's get right into it. So number 10, we have a playoff game from my junior year. Now, let's get this straight. This is probably the worst game of my career. I played like absolute crap. I mean, this pretty much sums up the game for me. Right there. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, boom! My wow. And, you know, but despite all that, I guess for me, what the best part about it was, well, A, we won by a pretty good amount. We won by like 15 or something like that. You know, it was just kind of the atmosphere of the game because we played on a Saturday afternoon or I guess technically it wasn't afternoon. We played on a Saturday at 11, so the sun was out, which was weird because, you know, usually, you know, you play on Friday nights, and we played in this really nice stadium. It was really big. We were on the home side, so in most stadiums, you know, there's more home stands, and it was filled from the top to the bottom, and there were so many people there, and it honestly felt like going to a college game. And obviously, I said we won. You know, we're area champs. You know, cool, dope. That's my boy Matthew in this picture. And, you know, a lot of my family was there and stuff like that. So it was just a really awesome atmosphere to play in. And we won. And it was just really cool. And to me, when I think about my favorite football games, this is one that always comes to my mind. And number 9, we have the Astros World Series Championship in 2017. Now, yes, I know this is probably a little tainted because of the Astros, because of the sign stealing scandal, but you already know my thoughts on that. If you haven't seen my video on that, make sure you go check it out. And, you know, I'm not a big baseball guy at all, but I think the Astros are just so fun to watch. You know, you have Springer, Correa, Altuve, Verlander, Keuchel was on this team. Bregman, Yuli, you know, just a group of fun guys to watch and play, and they were so good. They are really good still. And then just for them to pull it all together, I was at one of the World Series games when Game 5, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Game 5. Whichever one's the Dodgers actually beat them at home, so that was kind of awkward. I was there and they lost. But it was still really cool because I got to go to the World Series. I always remember that and think about that. And it was just really awesome and fun to be there. It was such a great atmosphere. And just for the Astros to go and pull it all together was just so fun to watch. Number 8, we have LeBron James in Game 6, 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. So if you know me, I am a huge LeBron James fan. He's my favorite basketball player, favorite athlete ever. And, you know, the year before, they lost to the Mavericks in the finals. And it was really bad. You know, they just collapsed on them. They collapsed on themselves. Braun didn't play that great. I mean, he played honestly borderline terrible that series. And so it was just really bad. So the next season, you know, he was going on his redemption tour. if you want to call it that, and he won the MVP. But, it still almost wasn't enough because he's still under heavy scrutiny like he always is, but especially this year because, he had to redeem himself from the 2011 failure. And then so they win the first two series pretty handedly, and then they played the Celtics. And, this is when they still had KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen and Rondo, like the really good Celtics teams. And it's Game 6. The Heat are down 3-2. They're facing elimination. And LeBron was just like, well, I'm just going to go out there and do it myself. And he did, for sure. LeBron had 45 this game, like 45, 15, and 5 or something like that. Something out crazy. But, he was just an automatic bucket the whole game. I think he finished he was like 19 of 25 or something. I don't remember the exact field goal numbers. But crazy high shooting percentage. And, he was hitting some, ridiculously hard shots, post fadeaways. This picture over on the right, it was a step back, fadeaway, floater, off the glass, over the Celtics' best two defenders. And I guess the thing that I remember most about watching this game is LeBron is a very expressive player and person. And just this whole game, his demeanor looked like this. It was just a straight face the whole game. I mean, he really was just stone cold killer that game. And that was the first time that I watched LeBron. It was truly taken away. And number 7, we have the Chiefs Super Bowl victory. So this is the most recent on this list. And I've been a huge fan of Patrick Mahomes since he went to Texas Tech. Obviously, as you know, I love Texas Tech and stuff like that. And so, Patrick Mahomes, when he came into the league and he won the MVP, and that was so cool and so awesome. And then, he's just so fun to watch and whatever because, he does the sidearms and the no-looks, and there's no throw on the field he can't make. And so kind of the legend of Patrick Mahomes was growing and growing and growing and growing. He was already like a urban legend at Tech just because when we get any decent football player there, immediately, the best thing since sliced bread. And then, he wins the MVP, but they lose in the AC Championship game. And then they come back this year in the playoffs, and, they have that crazy comeback against the Texans, and then they have to come back 10 against the Titans, and then they get to the Super Bowl against the 49ers. And the 49ers are really giving them fits. Patrick Mahomes is not playing that great. It's probably Patty's worst game all year. And then the fourth quarter happened. And Patrick Mahomes, he just kind of turned it on. He just flipped the switch, man. And they scored 21 points in 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, which is utterly ridiculous and crazy to even think that that's even possible. And, just watching Patrick Mahomes is so fun, and because I'm such a big fan of him, and just the way they came back, because it was just like that. And then, boom, they were up by 11. And it was like the 49ers played a perfect game for, 53 minutes. And then the Chiefs were just like, bam, deuces. And that's always so fun to watch, just because love Patty. Anytime he succeeds, I'm down for it. At number 6, we have the Patriots come back over the Falcons. I mean, I really don't need to go much into depth on this one. I mean, this game was 28-3 at one point. 28-3. Obviously, really deep into the game. Okay, there's only about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And, the Patriots just did what they did. Tom Brady just started marching down the field, and he just did his thing, man. And, a lot of crazy stuff obviously has to happen for you to have any kind of comeback, but especially one of this proportion. I still don't know how Julian Edelman caught this ball. And it was definitely a catch. If you watch it, if you watch the replays, this is definitely a catch. And I really don't know how he caught this. And then they win in overtime, and it was just absolutely insane to watch that, man. Holy cow, man. I left, part of the way through the game at the Super Bowl party I was, because I was like, maybe a change of venue will change things. And I'll be, dang, it sure did, man. That was awesome. Obviously, all of these moments are awesome. They kind of sound like a broken record, but it'd be like that sometimes. And, Tom Brady, Patriots, won another Super Bowl. Patriots my favorite team back then, so it was awesome. Number 5, we have my last high school football game. So this one is an interesting one because my senior year did not go as maybe expected, for sure, football-wise, just because I've only lost 4 football games that I've ever played in, and 3 of them were my senior year. And we were supposed to win our district and do this and that, and there's a lot of other factors that contributed to so many different things or whatever. And so going into this game, we had a small chance to make the playoffs. Our district was really good, so you had to be almost perfect to make the playoffs. And we had a very small chance. We had to have the second to last place team beat somebody else, and we knew that wasn't going to happen. So we knew that this was our last game as seniors. And it was senior night or whatever. And you know what? We just went out there and we just balled out, man. We won 49-0. We beat the district champs or whatever, or the people that ended up winning district. And, it was just a really awesome, fun night. And on top of all this, it was the culmination of my football career. I started playing football when I was in sixth grade. This is our Super Bowl champion picture over there in the top left corner. I played in junior high, 7th and 8th grade. That's an 8th grade picture. Very top middle, freshman, sophomore. I played football for a long time, and football was a huge part of my life. Every day since the first day of 7th grade, every decision that I've had to make has been influenced by football in some way or another. How is this going to affect football? And I was not the world's greatest football player. Definitely not. But that's okay. I just really like playing with my friends and just having a good time. And we did, man. We really did. And my senior year, maybe was not perfect, but I wouldn't trade it in for anything ever. We did have a lot of fun despite all the ups and downs and stuff like that. It wasn't a smooth ride, but it was still a fun one. And just to go out there one last time with all my friends and just ball out one last time was just really awesome. Number 4, we have the Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl. So going into this Super Bowl, the Patriots had lost 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, both to the Giants, which was very odd that they lost to them twice, but whatever. And like I said, the Patriots used to be my favorite team, without a doubt. And I was getting kind of scared because, the Seahawks were really good. During this Legion of Boom period, I feel like this year's Seahawks team was the best they ever were, for sure. Russell Wilson was still on his rookie contract, so they had everyone stacked on defense, and they still had Marshawn Lynch and whatnot. And then, it was a great game. Probably in the past, probably say 5 years or so, these were probably the best 2 teams to both get to the Super Bowl at the same time, for sure. And, the Patriots were down late again. They were down 14 in the fourth quarter, and they just made another comeback like they've done every other time they've won the Super Bowl. And so they go up, but then the Seahawks are driving. They're driving. They get real close. They get down to the 1-yard line. And then Malcolm Butler makes the play of his career. He gets to pick on the goal line. I'm going crazy. Then we ended up winning the game and stuff like that. And it was really good because, we had lost the 2 previous Super Bowls. I cried my eyes out whenever they lost to the Giants the second time. So this was like a really good redemptive for me as a fan. And number 3, we have Texas Tech's run to the national championship game. So, like I've already said, I'm a Big Tech person. I'm going there to go to college or whatever. And, this Tech team was just so fun. The year before we went to the Elite 8, and we basically had the same team, except, we had a few transfers, Tariq Owens and Matt Mooney, top middle and top right. Kyler Edwards, he was a freshman, he came in, but everyone else was kind of already there from that Elite Eight team. We're better. Jarrett Culver, top left, really stepped up his game, became the definite star of the show, established himself as a premier prospect for the NBA. And, so, when you have a school that you love, with the sport that you love, and they're really good, and they're really fun to watch, and they play great defense, and it's just fun to watch the other teams struggle to score, and Chris Beard is so good as a coach, and whatnot, you kind of put all those things together, and you go on a run and you go on a huge run. We beat Kansas and we won the Big 12, and then we beat North Kentucky in the first round. Then we beat Buffalo. Then we held Michigan to 41 points in the Sweet 16, and then we beat Gonzaga, number 1 seed in the Elite Eight, to go to the Final Four, and then we beat Michigan State barely to go to the national championship game. And then I was actually fortunate enough to go to the national championship game. There's me. This is when they're about to play Virginia. And then we played Virginia, and we played really good. Just not quite good enough to win. There were some calls that could have gone either way that may have helped us. Jarrett Culver didn't start playing real good till late. But regardless, we still could have won the game. It went into overtime. It was super close the whole time. Thrilling game to watch. Watching that game in a football stadium is weird because the seats are so far away, and we were not in the world's greatest seats, but they were good enough. I didn't care. I was in the building. It really didn't matter. And I missed 2 days of school to go watch, and it was just such a memorable experience because I went with my sister, my aunt, and, I don't know if Tech's ever going to have a team that's good in any sport. So we'll see. So this is something that I'm never going to forget, and a lot of Tech people won't either. So number 2, we have Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals. So if you watched this series, you remember how absolutely epic this thing was, man. And, we got the Game 6, and the Heat were down 3-2, and LeBron loses his headband this game. And so, he's balling out. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter to even get to the point that I'm about to get to. So we're down 3 late. And then Ray Allen hits that 3. And the thing that made this moment even more memorable is because I remember Chris Bosh was playing garbage this series, man. He was averaging 11 points a game. He wasn't getting that many rebounds. He wasn't shooting that great. And whenever LeBron fired up that 3 to try to tie the game and he missed, I was like, oh, no. That was our chance. We're going home, boys. And then, lo and behold, look who got the rebound. The dinosaur himself, Chris Bosh. And then he kicked it out to Allen, and he made it. But I'm not doing a great job explaining it, so we'll just have the video clip do it for us.
The 3 right away. Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Ugh. Chills, man. And then at the number 1 spot, we hit. Oh, not yet. A little early. And, LeBron won his 2nd title, and it was just awesome. And number 1, we have the Cavs comeback versus the Warriors. So, you know the story. The Warriors are 73-9, most wins in the regular season. And they go up 3-1. And then the Warriors start, saying stuff. Klay Thompson says they just got his feelings hurt. And then LeBron was like, and no team has ever come back from 3-1 in the finals. And then LeBron just did his thing, man. And they went on the greatest – LeBron and the Cavs went on the greatest 3-game stretch in NBA history. Game 5, him and Kyrie both have 41. First pair of teammates that scored 40 points each in a finals game ever. In Golden State, and in Game 6, they come back to Cleveland. And – they really just kind of ran this game. This is one of my favorite plays from this game.
It's not how you drive, it's how you arrive. Mama, there goes that man. Here in Cleveland. Perry blocked by James.
And then the greatest game in NBA history. Oh, come on. Game 7. You already know what happens.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Clippers trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. Let's go, Kyrie Irving.
And then the infamous video I posted right after they won. As you can tell, I was really excited, and the Cavs won, and that's just I'll never forget that. I'll never forget any of these. And there's a lot of memories that I didn't put on here, but this one definitely takes the cake for me. So that's my top 10 favorite sports moment of my life. Thank you for checking out the video today, and be safe from the corona.